Alrighty, just finishing up in Hebrews chapter 9. Um, Good stuff, and now we are in the KJV in our Old Testament study, and really cool stuff. Really cool stuff, and I was wanting to draw on some connections, and I'm going to flip back into the NASB here if I can find, if I can connect these ideas that I want to make. Well, let me do the summary. Let me do the summary here of Hebrews 9. Good stuff. It says the old covenant system pointed forward, but could not fully cleanse or remove sin. We know this absolutely. Jesus entered the true heavenly sanctuary once for all, offering his own blood to secure eternal redemption. He does not repeatedly deal with sin. He finished that work and will return for those who eagerly await him. Salvation is not automatic for all, but for those who receive him and belong to him. We are going to see similar ideas here in Isaiah chapter 9. And going back, that's what I was wanting to look at. Going back to yesterday, big piece of scripture. We talked about it in the other video. Hebrews 8:13. When he set a new covenant, he has made the first obsolete. It's no longer about the first covenant. It is now about the second covenant. It is about Jesus Christ. It is about his perfect sacrifice. Isaiah 29 reads this, and this is what we're going to get into right here. I feel like these all connect very nicely in our study. So in Isaiah 29 it says, Jerusalem is warned of judgment because of their worship, because their worship is empty. It's going to be referred to as Ariel. Because their worship is empty, honoring God with their lips while their hearts are far from him. Spiritual blindness and pride keep them from understanding truth, but God promises a reversal when the humble will see, hear, and rejoice. Judgment comes to the hardened, but restoration comes to those who turn back to him. Salvation comes for those who look for God, who find God. We see this, trying to think of that connection, the eagerly awaiting his arrival. He that endureth to the end. It is about faith. And so I feel like these all tie very nicely together. So, yeah. And we will go ahead and jump in here in Isaiah chapter 29. Looking back real quick, in 28 it says the condemnation of Ephraim. We saw that. In chapter 27, the assurance of Israel's deliverance. Again, this is for those who are repenting, that are turning, who are steering back into God. So here we go. Chapter 29 says, Ariel and her enemies. Woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt. Add ye year to year, let them kill sacrifices. Yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel. And I will camp against thee round about, and will lay siege against thee with a mount, and I will raise forts against thee, and thou shalt be brought down, and shalt speak out of the ground, and thy speech shall be low out of the dust, and thy voice shall be as of one that hath a familiar spirit out of the ground, and thy speech shall whisper out of the dust. Verse 5, moreover, the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitudes of the terrible ones shall be as chaff that passeth away. Ye, it shall be at an instant suddenly. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, and with earthquakes, and great noise, and with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. That's pretty interesting. I'm going to highlight all of that. Bear with me. Some heavy-duty stuff. Thou shalt be visited, 6:1. Looking at the notes, it says, punished by the Lord of hosts with thunder, and with earthquakes, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And the multitude of all the nations that fight against Ariel, even all that fight against her, and her munition, and that distress her shall be as a dream of a night vision. It shall even be as when a hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. Or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh, but he awaketh, and behold, he is faint, and his soul hath appetite. So shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion. Verse 9, the blindness of Israel. Warnings again. So here we go. Verse 9, the blindness of Israel. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers hath he covered, and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book. Let's see. And the vision, I think verse 11, and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men delivered to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. Wherefore the Lord said, Forasmuch as the people draw near to me with their mouth and with their lips, do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me. And their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. We talked about this during Bible study, Wednesday night class. The past couple of Wednesdays, I don't have a problem talking about fearing the Lord. It should be the love of God that draws us to Him and into heaven. But the fear of not having access to that love, I think, is wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Here again, it says their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. It's not apparently that's not a real fear that I'm saying. We should fear the Lord. We should walk. I've had a thought on it. I can't think how I've said it. We should walk in a boldness of our faith, as in we have it, but also in a fear of disappointing the Lord, not wanting to sin, not wanting to be disobedient. We are saved by grace, not by works. Over and over, I would say that. But if we love Him, we're going to keep His commandments. We've even said that today. Verse 14, therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, Woe, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, He made me not? Or shall the thing framed say to him that framed it, He hath no understanding? Verse 17, the redemption of Israel. This is not corporate. This is for those who have steered back in. I can only assume. I firmly believe that. Verse 17, it is not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. The meek also shall increase their joy in the Lord, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the holy city of Israel. For the terrible one, 21. Looking at that. Terrifying. For the terrifying one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Therefore thus saith the Lord, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob, Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale. But when he seeth his children, the work of mine hands, in the midst of him, they shall sanctify my name, and sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and shall fear the God of Israel. Fear. We walk in such a arrogance in this world, especially the United States. The fear of the Lord, I don't see it. verse 24, last one. They also that erred in spirit shall come to understanding, and they that murmured shall learn doctrine. And that is Isaiah 29. Very good stuff. Very good stuff in Hebrews. In Hebrews 9, here in Isaiah 29. You know, again, you hear people, I've heard people say, well, I'm going to do this, God will forgive me. To trodden over the cross, to willfully dive into sin, to willfully dive into disobedience, there says there remaineth no more sacrifice. Now, I don't think that you can fall from I don't think that you can lose your salvation, but I would say that these people certainly haven't truly locked it down. And we are to endure to the end. We are to walk this out daily, drawing closer to Him. Clifton again has talked about this through prayer. We do this through reading. Yet another one, I can't think of it, but these are steps to see if we are of the faith. And I think that we have had that Bible study. I think that's maybe 1 Corinthians chapter 15 that calls us to do that. I think it's 15. Is there even 15 chapters in 1 Corinthians? I don't know. If I can find that really quickly, there are. Resurrection. I don't know if that's where that was or not, but I did a study. I created a paper with that. It was several things to see if we were of the faith, and there was a long list. But anyway, I'm going to shut that down. We'll get our dates in there and maybe do a little bit of tidying up. And again, I'm hoping that you boys have a great day. I've been in prayer. Let me be in prayer more for your situations. People are always climbing hills, or people are always in valleys. We're either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or about to enter one. That's life. That's this journey, especially for us who are walking against the current of the world. But I'm in prayer for you all, and prayer for Papaw and Mimi, and for Papa T, and for Katie Carter, Sissy, Booney Baby, and Van and the boys, and many people. I've got people that are facing things, unsure things, and praying for healing or praying for restoration. I pray that my heart is in a position to call down heaven in a way that is real and powerful, and for many, and for this classroom here, and for lots of situations. So anyway, I'm going to shut this down for today, and we will pick up tomorrow. But I hope you boys have a great day, and I love you much. We'll talk to you soon.